to another episode here at the Divine Nurture community. This is Binta, your host. If this is your first time in, welcome. Here we discuss truthful, meaningful, and deep conversation. So thank you for joining me today. So in the episode on power, we touched upon relational power. So in today's episode, I would like to expand on the topic of relationship. So with that, today's episode title, The Importance of Harmonious Relationships. So let's dive in. So as humans, we crave connection from other living species. So such as other humans, plants, animal. We need and want a connection. So usually two things happen. Is either we fight those feelings or we struggle to connect or create healthy relationships. And one of the reasons many struggle to connect or create healthy or positive relationship is attributed to traumatic experiences. Just to name a few examples of traumatic experiences, we have emotional, verbal, physical, sexual abuse, bullying, sex trafficking and exploitation. The death of a loved one is also a traumatic experience. Just to name a few. We'll have a whole nother episode on trauma. So I just wanted to give a couple of examples there. So as a result of that, many enter relationship with unresolved trauma and wounds. So with that comes high expectations, which only leads to big disappointments, right? So in this episode, I would like to discuss some of the actions that can be taken to create harmonious relationships. For the purpose of this video, I will just focus on personal relationship, although professional relationship can be applied here. When it comes to relationships, it is important to have a relationship with the self. How do you treat yourself? Because the relationship you have with yourself will determine the relationship you have with others. So first thing first, try to create a positive and healthy relationship with yourself, right? Having self-esteem and self-worth. Leave no room for self-doubt and criticism. So one of the way to do this is speaking kindly to yourself. How do you speak to yourself? Is very important. Recognizing that you're your first cheerleader is a big confident booster. Have word of affirmation if that helps, right? Look into the mirror and speak kind words to yourself to practice self-esteem and self-worth and not wait that someone to give you that. Another way is to find ways to celebrate you. I specifically love this. Especially when you achieve something big. You don't have to wait to achieve something to celebrate yourself. Take yourself out to dinner sometimes. Go to the mall by yourself. Don't feel the need to always have a company. Enjoy your own company, right? I remember a few months ago, I went to a restaurant. It was just me. I was just sitting there enjoying myself, and there were this ladies were like, "You look bored." I'm like, I'm not bored. I'm just having time to myself. And you're okay with that? I'm like, yeah. You should try it sometime. I don't think so. I said, yeah, it's a great way to connect with yourself. They said, okay, fine. So yeah, really find way to celebrate you. That's important. And the last thing here I want to touch up on is be self-aware and appreciate your strength and embrace your weaknesses. Don't wait until someone points those to you, right? So be the first to say, okay, I know these are my strengths. I know these are my weaknesses, and a weakness is not something bad. We're all here to learn and grow. So it's just a matter of recognizing them and embracing them before somebody else does it for you. Another story. When I was in my early 20s, I used to know this individual who just, it used to get along. And I remember one day we were having a conversation and they're like, Binta, I know you. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Someone who gets me, someone who knows me. And they said, I know you more than you know yourself. I'm like, huh? Excuse me? They repeated themselves. They said, yeah, I know you more than you know yourself. I'm like, I better get to work then because that was not okay. It was a compliment until it wasn't. So, yeah, so really understanding, embracing your weaknesses before somebody else's does for you. So, once you are confident in the relationship you have with yourself, you don't chase, you attract the right relationship into your life, which get me to my second point, which is relationship with others. So relationship with others should always be interdependent and mutual. What does that mean? Understanding each other's is the goal here. So now you're moving from the I into the we. With that, genuine trust and bonding is created. Taking into account what your partner or that friendships need is very important. It's always good to connect with yourself, but relationship is about two people, right? I think people struggle there too. Like I said, they come into a relationship and it's about the I, which represses the other person's need. So it's very important to be mindful of that. And just when we talk about interdependent, it's just stepping in when your partner or a friend cannot, you know, step in that during that time, and just being of service, vice versa, right? So relationship also require work. How come we put in work in so many other different areas in life, but when it comes to relationship, is the effort is not really fully there. That's the best way to nurture relationships. So just recognizing that it requires work, it takes time, and some of the ways you can do this is prioritizing quality time. Lend a hand with no expectations and be consistent with your action. If you're saying you're gonna do something, do it, or better yet, don't say it, just act upon it, such as checking up on a friend or your partner, and just scheduling those times where spend time together and then get to know each other, right? Is very important. My second point on relationship is relationships are intimate, so don't allow other to influence your relationships. I'm very big on this one. Stop inviting a third party into your relationship. It is a big relationship killer. It is. Um, if there's a conflict or misunderstanding in your relationship, just go directly to the source to resolve the issue, right? Because once you start inviting more one person, the next thing you know, another person is invited. While it was not even something of a big deal, and now this has been drawn out of proportion, and here you are, just with a small misunderstanding. I would say if it gets to a point where um, a relationship, is having difficulties, there's always that one person where both side um, can rely on. Just find that one person where you feel like you can confide in and is not biased, right? Someone who's neutral can look at both sides and just be fair to the situation and not feel like they're picking side to talk to them. And you know that after the conflict has been resolved, it stays between you guys. It doesn't have to be outside. It doesn't have to go outside. So yeah, make them intimate and stop inviting others into your relationships. The next one is distance strengthens relationships. This is not solely about long distance relationships. It's more so being in each other's presence 24 hours, which tends to blind you in recognizing the area that needs improving in the relationship. It is important to create some form of distance to better assess the relationship between the two. In other words, find ways to connect with yourself, give yourself space, and then come back and then talk. The last thing about on relationship is recognize that some relationship have an expiration date, so there's no need for attachment. So with that, you're aware of the relationship that are not meant to stay for long term. If you notice, we're just in a time where pretty much we're in the end of a cycle where there's a lot of changes that's happening, right? We're getting rid of the old to start new. So pay attention to your relationship, especially from 2020 to now. Any relationship that's no longer serving you, they must go. So just pay attention to that. It's a real thing that's going on. So again, we're stepping into new territories, but we can't really fully get there until we get rid of the old. So which means old systems and institution must go if they're no longer serving us. Leaders such as political leaders, religious leaders, global leaders that are no longer serving us must go. Again, relationship that are no longer serving us must go. So we are pretty much entering what we call the age of technology and media at an accelerated pace. We're entering the age of truth and unexpected changes with no more resistance, right? We're entering the age of the humanitarian, but most importantly, we're entering the age of communities, togetherness, and unity. And I am so excited for that one because, to be quite frank, separation has caused a lot of damage, from hate to violence to envy. I can go on. Unity is the answer here. It is. So is we the people above all. But oh la la, we do have a lot of work to get done. So going back to relationships, pay attention to your relationships and stop attaching to them, because if they're no longer serving you, they will go eventually. So just learn to accept and allow things to unfold as they should, to move on. So with that, to have a harmonious relationship with others is to have a healthy relationship with the self. It always starts with you, right? Again, when in relationship with others, it is important to not expect or attach to the relationship. This goes with the understanding that people come into our life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. So allow them to come and serve their time. So I would like actually to close with a beautiful poem that I love. Every time I hear it, it gives me chill. It's by the name of Brian Chalker, Chalker, and the title is Reason, Season, and a Lifetime. So you can just Google it, his name and the title, you'll find him. People always come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you know exactly what to do. A reason. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed outwardly or inwardly. They have come to assist you through a difficulty or to provide you with the guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or even spiritually. They may seem like a godsend to you, and they are. They are there for a reason. You need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on your part or at an inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they just walk away. Sometimes they act up or out and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled. Their work is done. The prayer you sent up has been answered, and it is now time to move on. A season. When people come into your life for a season, it is because your turn has come to share, grow, or learn. They may bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it, it is real, but only for a season. And like spring turns to summer and summer to fall, the season eventually ends. A lifetime. Lifetime relationship teach you a lifetime of lessons. Those things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person or people anyway, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. Thank you for being part of my life. But most importantly, thank you for being part of this community. I appreciate it truly and deeply. So let your loved ones, your neighbors, your local community know there is a new global community emerging, and it is called the Community of Unity. So come home, come where you're loved, cared for, nurtured, and celebrated. Come home. The divine nurture is ready to receive you. Come. Thank you for watching. Until next time.